The iPod changed the way we listen to music forever. Without it, we wouldn't have Apple Music, we wouldn't have Spotify, and we wouldn't have wireless headphones. But how did we gain so much while losing the product that brought us here? Today we're diving into the history of the iPod, iTunes, and the evolution of portable music. The iPod's story began in 2001, where the only way to listen to music on the go was with a clunky MP3 player or with CD and cassette Sony Walkmans. The iPod was different because it was sleek, had a 10-hour battery life, and offered 1,000 songs in your pocket.
We know how to make really cool small devices. We know how to make them beautiful and fun. iPod is this amazing digital device that fits in your pocket. It carries over 1,000 songs, so now you can take your entire music library with you wherever you go.
In 2004, the iPod mini was the first iPod to introduce the iconic click wheel that would be featured on every new version of the iPod Classic going forward. A year after that, Apple introduced the iPod Shuffle, a unique budget music player that didn't have a screen and only had the option for randomized music playback. It made the iPod more accessible and smaller than ever before. But that's not all. The iPod mini was replaced by the iPod Nano, and Steve Jobs introduced it in the most iconic way.
Right here. Now this pocket's been the one that your iPod's gone in, traditionally. The iPod and the iPod mini fit great in there. You ever wonder what this pocket's for? I've always wondered that. Well, now we know, because this is the new iPod Nano.
In 2007, Apple shook the world after announcing the first iPhone, but later that year, the iPod Touch followed and became the best music player ever made. Despite not being able to make calls, the iPod Touch had all the features of the iPhone, including apps, Wi-Fi, and a touchscreen. It allowed people to browse the web at their fingertips, watch YouTube, and digitally buy music. You might be wondering why buying digital music directly would be so important. And it's because before the iPod Touch, the only way to add music to an iPod was to sync it with iTunes on a computer. The Wi-Fi capability allowed everyone to have access to music whether they had a computer or not. Today, we take advantage of having Spotify and Apple Music, but before streaming, it was very common for people to buy CDs, burn them to iTunes, and then transfer them to an iPod. In 2012, Apple released the iPod 5th generation, a colorful refresh that felt like a callback to the colorful iPod minis. But that wasn't the most important upgrade this year. It was the EarPods. This was the first time in 11 years that Apple had upgraded their headphones.
The human ear is so unique. No two are alike. Making one headphone to fit everybody's ears would be like trying to make one pair of shoes to fit everybody's feet. I mean, it's impossible.
These iconic shaped EarPods would lead to them being the shape of the original AirPods. In 2016, Apple chose to get rid of the headphone jack on the iPhone 7, one of the most controversial changes in Apple's history. Alongside the change, Apple released the first AirPods, a wireless pair of earpods that changed the way people listen to music forever. If it wasn't for the evolution of the iPod, we might have never lived in a world of wireless music, noise cancellation, and on-demand music. The iPod might not exist anymore, but its impact on society will forever be a stamp in history.